United, synonymous with Matt Busby and the Babes and all that, and having a player in the team who came through the youth system, we called it the academy, since the mid 1930s, phenomenal history. And there's a great moment where Bill Shankly says, Manchester United, the reason why Manchester United are massive is because Matt Busby goes in after the Second World War. It's a bomb site. They're literally playing in Man City. He puts together a team. They get big crowds because they're good. The big crowds means money, and Manchester United move up the league. Liverpool, very similar. There was a logic to football in the sense, Liverpool, mid-table second division team, Bill Shankly goes in the late 50s, turns them around, big crowds, money, spend on players. So there's a kind of like a template in football. Same with Arsenal, Herbert Chapman, Bill Nick with Spurs. Then Chelsea happens, and it's a different thing. I'm not judging it. It's a different thing. They're bought by an oligarch, and it's... I got mates who don't watch football anymore because they're like, it's just a race to the bottom for them. And where we ended up, I feel, is Manchester United fans look at Manchester City and go, we can't compete with them financially now. Therefore, we need to be bought by an oil state.
But they might do next Wednesday.
Yeah, but we need to be bought by... This is lots of Man United fans thinking... And is it a race to the fact that you'll just... The richer your owner, the more successful you are. And all the original logic of football where you become successful by getting a good team and getting money for the turnstiles that way has gone. Is that where we are, Noz?
Yeah, it is essentially. But it's kind of depressing because then it becomes a situation with, like, say Bellingham this summer. It looks like he's going to be available. Is there going to be a situation where you've got different nation states and different billionaires with bottomless amounts of money all bidding for him? And then what's the point? What's the point in football? I mean, the sympathy I've got with the likes of City and Newcastle, and less so, obviously, Manchester United is, well, how do you break through then? Like City get loads of criticism for their owners and the fact they bought success, and a lot of that is warranted. But really, if those owners didn't come in, does that mean City just have to sit back and accept that United are always going to be better? It's not fair in a way.
See, that's why
this is the great conundrum.
It's also why I don't agree with this point. But we haven't got time to deal with that now, because I think it's.
So if West Ham are bought by an oil state, would you be happy?
No, but West Ham have been bought by different people from different reasons, from different backgrounds forever. That's the point. Is that all that changed. The principle remains the same. The individuals and the backgrounds the individual come is the only thing that changes.
But the logic of the mid-60s, the Greenwood team was, and the team that won the World Cup, he got a good team together and you became a successful team.
I wouldn't have backed our owners. Yeah,
but what I'm saying is the money would have come through the turnstiles in that era, wouldn't it? So Manchester United and Liverpool, certainly Manchester United...
I can't get caught up in this argument doesn't make any sense to me, because basically it's the same argument but just with bigger money.
But this is what Noz is just trying to say. You only break through by the richer you get, and where does that end?
Because it's always happened that way.
Well, is it?
It's always happened that way.
Busby didn't do that. Busby created a football club out of putting together a great football team.
No, someone owned United.
Yeah, they did. A butcher. It was
a rich local businessman.
Well, within
sorry,
the context,
Nos, we've moved.
But so would Villa been owned by local businessmen who did quite well? You know, all clubs did it. But I'm trying to say is the original principle was if you've got a good team, bigger crowds, it's the FA Cup principle. Yeah, everybody in non-league wants to be Manchester United because they create £1 million gate receipts. We all know that. So everybody wants that payday because Manchester United created, and you give half in the FA Cup. So Manchester United have always generated big money through the commercial side of things. Man City didn't. Man City of money comes from their oil state.
Yeah, but they brought a good manager and brought in great players, and they built a football team.
I agree. Used it brilliantly.
So they got a dynasty team.
Anyway, Noz. Sorry, mate.
Now, on that note, can I just ask you, because we talk about his roots, because this is why you're on, because you've got a great book telling your story about United, your relationship with United. Will you have a problem when the new owner takes the club over about going to watch your team, just sort of in a nutshell?
I will have a problem with it. Will I still do it? I'm afraid to say yeah.
Well, no, that's all right.
It is all right. My bottom line in all this is, particularly for United, is we've spent so many years loving the club but criticising the owners and holding the owners to account. Why can't we continue to do that? Why can't we continue to...
You can do both things.
Yeah, well, don't become their cheerleaders. Always interrogate them. Always criticise them. Love the club. Hate the owners.
But you can still watch your football team right in the heart of that.
Yeah.
Of which, the new book.
Yes.
Tell us all.
Inshallah United. Yeah. Yes. So, yeah. So it's... It's called Inshallah United, out on 16th of March, but you can pre-order now. But essentially it's about me growing up from the late 80s through the 90s as a Man United fan. So there's that constant sort of thread running through it, but it's also about all sorts of things to do with identity and being from like a second generation Pakistani family and stuff like that. Because even a football team, most fans inherit a football club.
Yeah.
Most fans get it from their dads or mums or whatever. If you're new to the country, especially from a place like Pakistan, which at that time didn't have a massive football heritage, you've got to find your own way. You've got to, whether it's football, whether it's music, whether it's anything else, you've got to find your own tribe. And it's about that really. It's about how as a little brown lad in Manchester, how I found my tribe, and how I often think, if I wasn't born in Manchester, would I sport the same team?
See, that's a great question, isn't it? Is if you could have turned up sort of anywhere, arguably in that sense. But you'll never know now, will you? Because as John, the phrase you used earlier, it's part of your DNA, isn't it?
Well, it's an handy place to be in the late 80s, early 90s.
No, it wasn't the worst option.
Yeah.
It's
like great music, great football. It's a good place you ended up, you know?
Exactly. We'll also put in the book that, God forbid, like my parents could have moved somewhere where it was like a rugby town.
Oh,
and then I could have been. I could have been wearing red trousers as we speak.
Salmon.
Yeah. And who's to say you're not? That's all I'm saying.
But I mean, I love this conversation, and I see your point, Mark. There's always been rich football clubs. There's always been clubs that are, the top of the thing. It's just the money is so big.
It's just
now.
different. Yeah. The money's the different part.
But I think what I was trying to say was, it's harder and harder to break into that now, unless you've got that serious kind of money, I suppose.
Yeah.
So something like Forrest, the great story of Forrest in the late 70s was a genius football manager. Nobody can deny that. He goes into a football club, and Brian Clough's brilliance turns into a double European Cup winning team. Is that almost impossible now? So I'm asking.
No, but it's why it's a unique story.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why football throws these towels up.
No, you don't want to believe this. We almost have the time already.
Yes.
Your book. Tell us your book.
And the nice news is, you mentioned you're launching it before the second leg of that great game, aren't you?
Well, yeah, it's worked out okay.
Hasn't it, though?
Hopefully people turn up before the game. Pop over to the book launch and enjoy a bit of a chat about.
Where is the book launch? Where is it?
It's at the National Football Museum.
There you go. Dave Farrell will go. Dave, if he's listening, he'll definitely pop along and introduce himself. He's a little short mank, handsome kid. Yeah, and I might. He's got an old Wales football top of mine. I might make him wear that. It's red.
Seems reasonable.
So the national football guy, Noz, you'll have to come on again soon, mate, because we've run out of time. Come in the studio. We'd love to have you in here with us.
Yeah, no, it'd be great. Yeah.
Pop down. We'll welcome you with open arms in your red trousers.
Salmon.
Oh yeah,
Salmon.
sorry, my mistake.
Thank you, Noz. Cheers, mate.
Thank you.